Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com.
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs, from a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, winding closures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas, we do glass with class.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-0871 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today. And welcome live to the LV Home Experts Podcast. This is where we talk about real estate and financing, what's going on with the Las Vegas housing market. So today we have a very special guest. He's been in the industry now for about 18 years. He is also the president of NAHREP, which is an association of Hispanics realtors, right? Am I saying that correctly? Okay, so
real estate professionals.
Real estate professionals. I don't know why I keep messing this up, but I want to introduce you to this gentleman because he's a super cool dude. He has like a big following on TikTok, which is unbelievable. First time I met this gentleman, he's like a big teddy bear. There's something about him that you're just drawn to him. I don't know what it is. Like, he's just a cool dude. So I wanted to bring him on the show today. Alfredo Salas. Is that correct?
Rosales, yes.
Oh, I don't know why I keep messing up people's last name. I'm just not good with that stuff.
It happens all the time. Very
really.
I have to correct everybody. They used to call me Rosales. Are you Mr. Zels? I'm like, no.
Mrs. Zels. Yeah. I kind of like that name. Yeah. Mrs. Zels. Like, you're kind of like trying to sell something.
I know. That's gonna be my next tag name.
Okay.
Mr. Zels. I'm gonna use that.
So you want to give the audience kind of like your background. We know that you've been doing this now for 18 years, and I want my audience to kind of know a little bit about you. So can you just kind of give like 2 minutes, kind of give us a rundown?
I mean, real quick, I've been in the industry for about 19 years now, doing everything from the bottom to the top. Like, literally, I started off as a administrative guy. I was doing data entry for listings, putting in listings. I mean, you know how that is.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for this agent back in the days. And, that's where I started my real estate career, to be honest with you. And it was actually like a mistake. Prior to that, I was a CO. I was a correctional officer.
Really?
Yeah. And when I moved here to Vegas, I found this job, and I started this job as a data entry. And by the time I had to go to the academy here, because I did the academy in Arizona, and when they called me, I'm like, you know what? I'm already good where I'm at. I was already making decent money. as, data entry, listing. I was a listing manager. That was my position.
Okay.
So I learned everything from the bottom. Then I became escrow escrow coordinator.
Okay.
So I did listings, I did escrows. Then I started, I did sales back in the days, like back in 06, somewhere in there, 6, 7, 8. Then I kind of managed a little team there. And then I was kind of in charge of the office in a way where I was at. Then I moved on to manage another department with REOs. And for most of my career, I was doing managing real estate offices, real estate teams, helping grow their business in a way. And then it got to a point where like, okay, so I already helped some people grow their business in a way. What do I do now?
Yeah.
And
start your own team.
Yeah, it was time for me to move on. I'm like, I wasn't going to make any more money. They didn't want to pay me more money. I was okay, so what I got to do now, right? So
yeah.
But I started doing my own business, obviously, by myself. Then all of a sudden built, a little team that I have now. And eventually that's been helping, been doing good for me right now.
Okay. So what company are you hanging your license with?
I'm with Century 21 Americana right now.
Okay. How long have you been with them?
I've been with them since I started my team, probably about 3 years now.
And how many people you have on your team?
I have, right now, I have 2 people on my team. Actually, 3. I have 3 people on my team. I have a listing agent, I have a buyer's agent or showing agent, and then obviously myself.
I was just kind of curious, what was your sales volume last year?
Last year I did over 50 deals, about 52 deals.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not a rookie at this stuff.
No, not at all. You know what? The main thing that took me when I decided to make the move, obviously we all are a little afraid of the income.
Yeah.
Receiving that paycheck that I was receiving every 2 weeks, and you jump from that to not knowing when you're going to receive a check.
Yeah.
That was my main issue. And, it turned out that I knew everything I had to do because I was telling everybody what you had to do, but I wasn't doing it for myself.
Which makes sense.
So I had to work really hard. The first 6 months, I remember I had to work really hard on branding.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew what I did. Everybody knew I had a job. Everybody knew I was making good money, but nobody knew what I did because I was in the back end. It was pretty much just making sure these other people were, their name was being put out rather than mine.
Okay.
And I just make sure everything runs smooth. That was my job.
Now, you haven't been sworn in yet.
Not yet.
But you have been elected as a president for NAHREP, which is the abbreviation. I just can't remember. I don't know why, but
is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, Greater Las Vegas chapter.
Okay, so what's the difference between that versus just becoming a member of the National Association of Realtors?
Oh, right? we are part of the National Association of Realtors. I mean, that's the Realtor Association. I mean, every realtor has to be part of that board to be called the realtor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right? Or a licensee. So being part of the Hispanic real estate professional, I mean, if you want to get involved with the community, help your Hispanic community, I mean, you got to get involved with these chapters. I mean, they're not only here in Vegas. We have in many states, we have different chapters that people can join. And
chapters, it sounds like a bike gang or something.
It does sound like a bike gang. But, you'd be surprised how much you can really change the community with that. I mean,
really?
I've been to, recently I went to Phoenix, Arizona. We had a leadership academy. Okay. And I met so many great agents over there. They're part of the, Phoenix chapter. There's 2 chapters in Phoenix. And I mean, they're leaders. I mean, there's leaders who are helping their community. And when I say helping the community, I mean helping the real estate community. Yeah. Because that's who we cater to. We cater to the real estate community, whether it's a real estate agent, a lender, appraisers, title reps. That's who we cater to. We don't actually cater the community itself. Yeah. But we help educate the community of real estate so they can help their own communities.
Now, do I have to be Hispanic?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
A lot of our bays are not Hispanics, but they want to get involved with it because they have a mission. Okay. We have a mission, and our mission is not only to close the gap of wealth between the Hispanic community and the American community, which is a big gap of wealth, but also educate our community to generate generational wealth. Yeah, I mean, not get stuck. I mean, you buy a property and that's it. What else, right? So within the Hispanic community, we have to educate them to let them know that there's something else other than just only buying one house.
So how many how many members do you have in your chapter?
So currently, I mean, there's over 40,000 members in the whole national, chapter. But currently in our chapter here, we have probably about 150 members.
That's pretty strong.
And this is real estate professionals. Again, that's who we cater to. I remember back in the days, obviously it was like 300 members.
Yeah.
Obviously things change. Right now, my main focus this year is to be able to help the agents that are struggling.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many agents that are struggling. There's
what are they struggling on? Like business or
business wise? I mean, they're dropping their license because they don't know how to get business.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to go after business. So my main goal is to educate them through some of the workshops that we're doing.
Yeah.
Where we're teaching them things to be able to generate business. Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, you didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like business would just bounce in your lap and you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
I got a deal.
Now I'm picking up the phones and making calls.
Right. So now people are actually, picking up the phone,
Yeah.
making calls, and everyone's like, who's calling me?
Yeah.
But so that's my main focus this year. I think it is. And I think it's a great time. The last couple of years, nobody had to go to any of these events because you didn't have to teach me anything. I was making deals, right?
Yeah.
But now I think it's a time where you have to go out there and expose yourself, meet other agents, kind of build relationships to be able to help your business in a way. And what better way than being part of this where you can meet other agents, be able to connect with them. And at one point in your life, you'll probably be like, hey, remember we met at that event?
Yeah.
I got an offer for your property. So that's one of the things that we're trying to get, to make sure we give tools to the new agents and agents that are dropping or not knowing what to do, how to get business. Say, hey, we got you.
Also, I think this is important that people know that you don't get paid for this. You're doing this because you have the love for it. Yeah.
We
which
volunteer.
Is great.
Yeah. We have a board of directors. We have currently 13 sitting directors on our board. We're volunteers.
Yeah.
We volunteer our time. We make sure that we do these events for these agents. So if you happen to meet one of those directors, say thank you. Say hi. Get to meet them, get to know what they do, why they do this. I mean, you should hear all the stories. And Liz.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask her why she does this. I mean, she's so passionate about it too.
For the love.
Oh yes, definitely. For the love of what we do. I mean, our profession, for the love of the community, and how we want to make sure that we grow with our agents. That our agents help their clients grow. So it's not about being selfish. I think that's the main thing. We're not selfish.
Yeah.
And if you're selfish, I think this is not the spot for you, I would say.
Okay.
Because we want to be able to give to the community.
Okay. Earlier, we were speaking about property transfer tax.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a difference between property transfer tax and, taxes on your property, right? Can you explain what property transfer tax is? And I think a lot of people need to know this because you did mention that property transfer tax may go up.
Yes. So there's a proposed bill, and I don't have the number. I think it's 68, SB 68, something like that.
Okay.
And I think it was going up yesterday for legislation I don't know if you know, but the legislation started session a day ago or 2 days ago. And this bill was something that came up that they want to increase real estate property transfer tax. Now, transfer tax is not the same as the taxes, but every time you sell a property, that you transfer a property, you have to pay taxes. Now, as of right now, the real estate transfer tax is $5.10 per every 1,000.
Okay.
So the proposal is saying they're going to increase it by 40 cents.
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's do the math very simple. If you bought a home for $100,000, you take 1,000 divided by 100, 100,000. How much is that?
That's 10, right?
Right. Well, hey, let me see your phone.
So 100,000, it's 100.
So you take 100 times $5.10, which is $510.
Right?
Okay. So what you're saying is if it goes up by 40 cents more, then you would have to just tack that on.
Right. So we're talking about $540.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal, but the question is why are they raising that?
All right. So I've been asking people about it because I've been wanting to get different opinions about it. I wanted to do a video about it because it's so interesting. Now, I had a conversation recently, this afternoon. I asked somebody the same question. Hey, what are your thoughts on this transfer tax that they're increasing? And everybody gets confused about the tax.
Well, I did too, because I thought the question you asked was property transfer tax.
But I asked him, what are your thoughts on this transfer tax increase that they're proposing? And he's like, I think I'm always against increasing taxes.
Well, it depends where that money's going.
Yes. Now, somebody else said it's not good because it's taking money away from homeowners and from potential new homeowners.
Yeah.
And eventually may cause the transfer of property. Like, I don't want to pay more money to transfer my property. So now we're dealing with closing costs and all this other stuff. And now those numbers increase, you know?
So let me just ask, let me interrupt you for a second. I do apologize. So that way the viewers are aware of this. Is it customary practices in today for property transfer tax? Is it the seller that pays for it or the buyer that pays for it?
It's negotiable.
Okay. Like, I mean, what are you normally seeing right now?
Normally, seller paid transfer tax.
Okay.
Normally.
Yes. But and that's my point that I wanted to get across, that, you know, when you sell real estate and when you write up a real estate contract, you got to know what's going on with the marketplace, who pays for what.
Exactly.
But also, if you are a seller, you just need to be aware of this because it's more money out of your pocket.
Correct. Okay. And last year, I mean, I'm sure you know, but last year, that was part of negotiation.
Yeah.
I mean, buyers will come in and say, hey, I'll pay your transfer tax. So that way I can get the deal done, you know? They weren't giving closing costs, so now the negotiation spot was, you know, transfer tax, commission, I'll pay for this and that, and the buyers were doing that. Yeah. So it's customary seller costs, but obviously it can be negotiable. So if you're a seller, like you said, talk to your agent depending on the offers, you know, and the time. I mean, right now is not really a seller's market per se. Yeah. Even though we're still technically in a seller's market, but you know, it's happening where the seller has to pay for transfer tax. Okay. So what he was saying was that now the transferring thing is like, you know, is going to prevent people from transferring tax. But then you're talking about it's only 40 cents. Yeah. And then somebody was telling me, like, you know what? All that money, I mean, I said they're trying to make the money back that they spent through COVID. Yeah. I mean, we use all state money to COVID relief and, you know, and all this stuff that they were giving out, CHAPS and this and that. All that money came from the county and the state. Yeah. What do you think they're going to get that money back?
From you.
Yeah. I mean, taxation is the big part of getting all that money back. Then they put it to reuse in the state, and that's how they get it back. So to me, it seemed like that's what they're trying to do. Then somebody sent me a text. They didn't want to say who it was, and I'm not going to say who it was. But it's like, can I say a bad word in this?
Yeah, of course you can.
He said, that's bullshit. Yeah. Because what they're going to do is that they're going to raise all that money. They're going to send it to nonprofits. They're going to misuse the money. And then it's just going to be money wasted. Yeah. So they took money from homeowners and then just misused it somewhere else. Interesting. So is like a different opinion on all this. Like, nobody wants to see it. Some people say it's a good thing because we need that money back. But then again, it all depends. And then the numbers might not seem small at 100,000, but if you go a little bit higher, then they might see a little bit higher. And that's where people start complaining about, well, why are my costs so high? I'm like, well, you know, blame it on the government.
So check this out. I was actually looking at the Review Journal, and there's an article here that talks about Clark County, right? Short-term rentals.
Yes, sir.
License, right? For the licensee, right? They're doing a lottery system, which is so many people applied for this thing that they are overwhelmed. What are your thoughts about the short-term rental out here?
So short-term rental, I know in other states it's great. Okay. Locally, I mean, lobbyists, you know, they're putting so much money, casino lobbyists, because obviously it's bad business, right? Yeah. I mean, it's bad for them. I mean, up to recently, last year, I think June 1st, was that it took effect that they approved short-term rentals in the unincorporated Clark County.
That is correct.
Because there was no short-term rentals allowed there. Were there short-term rentals? Yes. Were they allowed? No, but they were still doing them. So I was talking to Cindy Loman. She owns I think it's Trifecta Property Management.
Okay.
She's a broker owner of that. She does property management for short-term rentals. And she said there's like 70,000 illegal short-term rentals.
So are they regulating that? What are they doing?
So they are regulating it, but I mean, obviously it's taking a long time. I mean, they're finding people. They're sending fines on some of these people they find.
How much are these fines?
I heard 70,000.
Oh, wow. That's scary,
actually,
dude.
No, I'm sorry. I heard 10,000, 7,000. I'm thinking of 70,000 illegals. So 7,000, 10,000. I mean, it varies. I heard 30,000 in one case. So it would just depend how much you're making on it and how long you had it, from what I hear.
So sometimes they may just be feasible just to do it legally.
It could be.
If you're
yes.
making a lot of
but
money.
you know what? But nobody wants to pay the fees, which are not even that high.
Yeah.
I mean, to get a permit. But obviously nobody likes to be regulated, apparently.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? There's more illegal Airbnbs here in Vegas than there are legal.
Wow, that's interesting.
So that's one of the reasons why also, like in the installation, April 7th, we're going to have Cindy Lomas going to talk about that. Because, I mean, there's a great potential for business, especially right now. Everybody wants to buy Airbnbs or at least the suites or condos by the strip.
If they just open up the floodgates, you know how many investors would be buying out here like
Of course.
crazy? How many more homes they would sell? Because I get a lot of calls. They're like, dude, I want to buy Airbnb, but that's not like my field. So I just tell them like, hey, you guys got to do your research. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, when you tell them the restrictions. I mean,
exactly.
They're like,
because I have a good friend of mine. You know, he's got a bunch of Airbnbs. He's got like the biggest Airbnb out here, and he's crushing it right now. And he was telling me a story where there's so many like rules and regulations, especially like for Henderson and stuff like that, and that he bought a home, right? Because you got to buy it first.
Right, of course.
You can't just go out and get the permit. So you have to buy it, get the permit. But he was telling me that, and there was a website that he showed me. So your home has to be like 1,000 feet or like a certain, like a distance from another Airbnb. And basically, when he looked at the site, right, before he bought it, there was nobody there. He was good. So he closed on it, went back to the site. There was another property that overlapped his property by like 3, 4, or 4 feet.
Right.
So now he couldn't get the permit. So he literally had to like hurry up and force to sell that thing.
Correct.
Luckily, he got out of that deal. But I mean, that's just kind of scary. You know what I mean?
It is. And you don't, at least as real estate agents, we don't have control of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
We checked at the beginning. You did your research. You looked, there was none. All of a sudden it showed up. There was nothing we can do there. Now, there was a lot of people selling properties in the city of Las Vegas to do Airbnbs. North Las Vegas to do Airbnbs. But then again, a lot of people that came to me, or some of the people that came to me, they didn't know that you had to live on the property. Or you can only rent 50% of the property in certain, in the city of Las Vegas. So those are things that happen a lot. I mean, some people were like, oh, I want a property for Airbnb. Agents were just selling properties.
Yeah.
And they didn't even do the research or instructed the agent to do the research. And at the end, you're going to say, you know what, is the consumer's fault because they didn't do their research. But then again, should have the agent known about those restrictions? That's a question, right? And a lot of people lost money because of that. And then now with the regulation going on in Clark County, some people decided to sell their property because they're like, nah, I don't want to regulate it.
Yeah.
And some people decided not to even bother getting licensed. Although I heard there's a lawsuit that was brought up, so those regulations are kind of on hold. But I got to talk to Cindy about that because she was mentioning that. So
I definitely like to bring her on the show. You got to connect me with her.
Yeah, definitely.
Get some more information because there's a lot of buyers out here, investors. They want to get into this Airbnb thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good business if you go somewhere else because you don't have the casinos.
Yeah.
But here is just a mess because literally you have to live in the property. Now, go back to what Airbnb was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You own the property and you let people stay in your room and you feed them breakfast, right? And that's what it was. But now, I mean, we don't live in the country. We don't live in upstate New York.
But I mean, technically, if you want to get around it, you could just do like a 6-month lease. But then you do within the 6-month lease, you can just cancel out after a couple of days if you wanted to, right? Technically.
Or the question is, can you do a 1-year lease and then have the option of subletting?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
so
there's always that gray line.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you guys to do it.
Of course not. Of course not.
If it was me, this is something that I would probably do because, I'm a villain.
Yeah. I see that happen. It's like, I'm like, you did what?
Now, also, I was reading this article with Siegfried and Roy. This is kind of cool. If you guys don't know who Siegfried and Roy,
I wanted to buy it cash, but I didn't have it.
Oh, okay. You only had half of it.
Yes.
So Siegfried and Roy is actually selling their Jungle Palace for $3 million. Have you ever been around this area?
I have. Actually, I have a friend that just told me he's listing a property right around, not around the corner, but in the vicinity.
Yeah.
But I mean, compared to that, this one is like 600,000.
I mean, this property, right, where it's located, I normally used to go golfing over here.
It's right there.
Yeah. I think it's like Washington and Jones.
Vegas and Washington.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I mean, this thing is like pretty outdated, but it's kind of fascinating if we just take a look and see how they actually live here, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, this home was just like baller status if you think about it, right?
Like the Playboy Mansion.
Exactly. There's actually like 3 houses on here, and I think the other 2 houses are like guest homes, which is kind of fascinating to me. Just the lifestyle that these guys are living.
I mean, they had service too, so
yeah. I mean, look at this. It was built in 1954, listed for sale with the Zillow.
I wonder how long it's been listed.
Yeah, I wonder who the listing agent is. I'm gonna have to pull this thing up in MLS. Yeah. So I guess this is where they keep all the cats or something. That's what it looks like, right?
They're cats, is that what you call them?
Yeah, they're what are tigers? I'm sorry.
Tigers. Yeah,
the kitty cats.
They do more than cats.
So we're about to take a quick break, guys. So right after these sponsors, we'll be right back. Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-71 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today. Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off, bankruptcies, and repos. Visit gccreditcoaches.com. I don't know what's going on with that commercial. It was a little bit choppy, so we're just going to jump right back into it. If this is your first time tuning into this show, my name is Chakits Krulsawat, host of the LV Home Experts podcast. This is where we talk about real estate and financing. My special guest today, Alfredo Rosales. Is that
my new last name? Sales.
That's right. So I want to get your perspective of the current market. What's going on?
All right. So I guess the answer will depend is which way you're looking at it. You have sellers or homeowners that are thinking it's still not the best time to sell. And you got homeowners or first-time home buyers that now are thinking it's not the best time to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a situation where you have high rates. You have prices that are still high because they don't seem to come down.
Yeah.
If anything, increasing. So it's kind of like limbo. I mean, I've been through many cycles, 2-3 cycles, And I haven't seen anything like this because it's so weird for the market to go up and the rates to go up. It's either way.
Yeah.
Either the markets go up and the rates go down and vice versa. So it's something that is so weird the way it's happening, but people are coming up with ways to figure it out. So, you got possibilities with lenders doing, buy downs on the rate and stuff like that. You got the possibility now with the higher inventory where people can actually get contributions. So you still have people interested in buying. You'd be surprised. The demand's still high.
Mm-hmm.
But the payment or the amount they can qualify obviously is low.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of killing right now the market. Not only that, this morning I was talking on my show, actually not today, but yesterday we were talking about, and then I did a video not too long ago on my TikTok too about, Senator Warren was asking Powell about the rates.
Yeah.
Hey, on your report, if you submitted, it stated that if you keep increasing the rate, then unemployment is going to go higher.
That is correct. And we're already, we just lost
like
200,000 or something. Yeah.
Right. We're like in the threes, but they're saying it was like 4.6. That was the number.
Yeah.
Which equivalent was like 2 million people.
Yeah.
So they're saying, so what would you say to those people? And they're like, well, it's something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
That was his answer. In more words, but.
Well, yeah, because he says that if we don't do it now, then everybody's going to be hurting.
It'll be worse, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, right now, the way the unemployment is very low, still low. A lot of people left their jobs because they started entrepreneurship, so they went into building their own businesses. So more businesses were created, but the way the market said, there's a lot of demand. The problem is that at what point are they going to be able to afford a home?
Yeah.
That's where some people got creative. Now you got multi-generational buying.
Yeah.
So you got the dads and the kids buying together. Now they're moving in together. People are getting creative about that because obviously if you do it on yourself, unless you're making money, then you're buying. But other than that, yeah, you can always refinance later. So people are saying, you buy a 7% right now, refinance later.
Yeah, but how do you refinance if the market tanks?
Yes, and that's somebody asked me the same question. What's the pros and the cons? I said, well, the cons is if the market goes down and you don't have equity and you're in negative equity, then you can't refinance. So you're stuck with this. Yeah. So you're stuck with the 7% rate, and you can't do nothing about it. You can short sell it, but you can't refinance and change the rate.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit difficult, but if people are looking at it on the long run,
yeah,
I think you're good. If you're looking to buy a property and you're going to sit on it for 5-10 years, I think you're good. I think it's a good investment because, eventually the market will shift at one point.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it and you say, you know what, I want equity right away, you're in the wrong spot.
So, what's unemployment right now?
But what?
What's the unemployment rate?
It's last time I checked it was like 3.6.
But it was crazy. I think Vegas is like at 5.3. It's like the highest right
now. I haven't looked at the Vegas one, but no, actually Vegas was one of the lowest. I think last time it was 2 point something. It was even below.
I'm gonna have to pull that up.
National levels. Yeah, we'll check it out.
I was doing an article the other day, probably like a week or something. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like the highest unemployment throughout the
check it out right
U.S.
now.
Yeah, we got to pull that up because that's a big deal. Because the crazy thing about it is, I have a buddy of mine. He's trying to get a job and he can't even get a job. I'm like, what is going on?
So yeah, so you're correct. So the last I was 5.7.
Yeah,
5.7. Yeah,
which is kind of amazing to me.
Yeah, it is. But then again, we're higher than the national.
Yeah,
and it's
could that be alarming for our town?
No, I think it's very standard. Anything. Last time we got to like 19%.
Yeah,
like 19-20 somewhere there. I think anything below 7% is still good. I know before pandemic, we were still in the 3s, 4s. So it's not that bad. But then again, it shows that it's creeping up.
Yeah.
It shows that it's creeping up. And eventually, if they keep raising the rates, I think it will happen again.
So you think we're going up 1/4 point or 0.5%?
I think they're going to be more aggressive to 0.5%.
Really?
I think so.
Wow. The problem is that the the target fund rate is 2%.
We already passed it though.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere close because they're trying to get it down to 2%. There's just no way.
Yeah, there's no way. And actually, I saw a post today from LVR too that they're expecting the rates to go down in the next week because the yield went down, the 10-year yield. But that it's a roller coaster, man.
No, it is. So let me ask you this: why do you think like things are like moving? I mean, a lot of people they thought the market was going to tank. It didn't bottom out. It's almost like it's plateaued. And this like whole month, like it's such a weird market. But I think this is what I love about Las Vegas, especially like if you're an agent. If you really know what's going on, you can read the data,
Correct.
the data. You can kind of see what's going on. It allows you to pivot, right? But
and adjust.
Correct. Now, I noticed that, we're having like so much people moving out here. They got to move somewhere. And I think that's like part of the equation of, why homes are selling.
Well, I mean, yeah, demand's still high.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because we're having an average like almost like 65 to 7,000 people moving here a month. I mean, they got to live somewhere.
I think last year was like 42,000.
No, 87,000 or something. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, even worse.
So, I mean, these people got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And if they have nowhere to go, then the builders got to build. Like a lot of my clients that are moving out here, all they're doing is relocating because the first thing they're going to do is within their state, they're going to take a look. Okay, I'm getting taxed this. Things are getting expensive. Where could I go? So they now start to look around the United States. So now they start to look over here on the west side, the west coast. You know what I'm saying? West side. But anyway, Vegas, you got entertainment. You got
sports now?
Yeah, you got sports. I mean, you pretty much have it all here. Yep. You have a international airport. Like, you can literally catch a flight from here to China.
Yeah.
Like, that's how crazy it is, right?
It's a long flight, but sure.
Yeah, but the weather is great. Well, I'm bullshitting. The weather's not great. I hate it when it's hot.
I hate it when it's cold.
I love the cold. I hate the heat, man. I hate the fact that you walk in here, I can smell the sweat off of you. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't hate it. It's like something like, oh my God. I hate wearing jackets all the time.
Oh, no, I gotcha. But I mean, people are just migrating out here, dude. It's crazy. Like, this city has grown so tremendously, and I've been out here for 22 years, and I just can't believe. I mean, things are getting more expensive out here, but not as expensive as when I was living in Hawaii.
But you know what's something interesting though? Yeah. A lot of the people that are moving to the state, they're keeping their salaries.
Yeah.
From the state they moved to. So we have people moving from California. They're still working in California, but they live here. So they're living here with their California salary, which is way higher than they would get here. So obviously they can afford a home.
Yeah.
I mean, here, what's the average, the median income is like 42, 40?
No, it's I think it's like 68,000 right now in Las Vegas.
The average is 42, the median, yeah. So, I mean, what can you afford at that price, right?
Nothing. That's why, the market right now, I'm going to tell you, I noticed like last year, my price point was around the 715 up, the median price point. Now the buyers that I'm taking out, they're like around the 400 range. And it's very competitive. Like, I'm literally taking these guys out, and we're looking at properties, and believe it or not, there's few offers.
Yeah.
Like 4 offers on one property. I was like, 60 days ago, I'm like, yo, this thing's been on the market for like 90 days. You guys don't have an offer. The day I write an offer, you guys have offers. He's like, I don't know what's going on, Chuck. Like, I got friends, they flip properties for a living, and I'm talking about guys that are doing like over 100-something, flips a year. And that's kind of like their sweet spot right now. And they're literally getting multiple offers. I can't believe it.
But you know what? It has to do also with pricing.
That's what I'm saying.
You see some properties that they've been sitting on the market, and they still either in their mind think it's still worth that. And I always tell sellers, like, look, don't look at the number of what it would sell for. Look at the number now. We have to focus on how much is the buyer willing to pay. Because if you look at a payment now at this price, I mean, they're like, I don't want to do this. I mean, you're looking at what, $350 a payment and like a 7%, like $2,600 bucks.
Are you seeing sellers now have made those adjustments? They're more realistic, or do you think they're still holding on to,
some of them are still holding. Some of them still holding. I mean, I had some situations where there's a property sitting 40, 60 days on the market.
Yeah.
No changes to the price. No adjustments to the price.
Really?
You send them an offer. Let's say you send them an offer at list price and you ask for closing costs.
Yeah.
Just to make it sweet, and they still don't take it.
That's amazing.
They still don't take it. So either there's no motivation, or they're not understanding the market, or somebody's not explaining the market to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's either or.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, properties are staying longer due to that. So now the longer you're staying, the more you have to adjust to catch up to the market.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It's happening. We're seeing drops. If you look at the MLS, the stats, I mean, there's more properties reducing prices than listings are going on contract.
Yeah, what was fascinating to me is like a lot of homes that are on the market, they're actually vacant.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how many investors actually bought, and they're actually trying to sell their property right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the last time, maybe it was like 3-4 weeks ago, I did a market analysis on it. Even including like rentals, I think it was like almost like 63% of the homes are actually owned by like investors, and they're just trying to dump it, dude.
Now the question is, which investors?
Well, that's true, because when we talk about investors, with these cash flow guys, right? Obviously, they're the true investors because it's about cash flow. But then you have people that about 1 or 2 properties like myself, and now you think you're like a real estate guru, and you're just trying to dump everything at this point because you're getting paranoid, right?
It happens, yeah.
That's what I'm seeing, right? It's people that bought secondary
The mom and
homes.
pops.
Yeah, they bought a secondary home. They changed their mind. Like the market has swinged around. They're getting a little bit paranoid.
Well, they just want to cash out.
Yeah, exactly.
They just want to
get out because they just realize like, oh my God, the market is tanking. And, I'm guilty of that. I mean, I had up to like 8, 9 properties, and I'm down to like 3 more. I'm just liquidating everything. I'm going cash heavy.
And it has to do also with rentals. I don't know if you noticed, on rentals, they're staying a lot longer too. Rental prices also kind of plateau, like we talked about. And that's also impacting that. So now people don't want to pay, $2,000 for rent.
But it's still cheaper to get a rental property right now, because the median rental right now is about $1,900.
It is.
And for like a $400, like you said, I mean, your payments are like $2,500 a month, or even more, not including HOA fees and all the utilities, blah blah blah.
Yeah, now that comparison doesn't make sense.
And then it doesn't make sense, but. $1,900. I mean, think about that. That's over like $20,000 a year. If you're only making, $68,000, I mean, that's like a third of your income just going to that. Not only that, a lot of Americans will actually go out and buy like a car, and these cars are not cheap. Let me tell you.
No, not at all. I mean, their payment's about $1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
we had somebody who was paying like $1,200-$1,300. I'm like, what you get,
dude? Like 2 years ago, you could have bought a car. Average car. I was looking at the statistics. I think it was like $34,000. Now it's like the average car now is like $52,000. Right? Imagine the payment on that. And they went from like 5 years to 7 years. Some of these things are getting extended even longer, which is kind of crazy to me, because I feel like cars don't last that long anyway. But what I'm trying to say is that the payment on the car on top of your mortgage, not including like food, right? With all this inflation, I just don't even know how we can even actually afford all this. I mean, how many people out there are actually living paycheck to paycheck? And I'm talking about the average household income earners here in Las Vegas, because those are the guys that are actually really getting impacted, believe it or not. Guys that are making, $500,000 a year and above, no problem, unless you're not managing your money correctly, right?
Yeah, but that happens a lot. There's a lot of living paycheck to paycheck, and unfortunately, especially now, I mean, it's been talked about for the last 3 months. You have to save. Yeah. Because things are getting rough. I keep seeing stuff about, if the rates keeps going up, obviously unemployment is going to go up. The question is, are we going to go back to shutting down places? Yeah. Are we going to lose workforce because nobody wants to go out and buy? Yeah. I mean, everything's more expensive. People are not going to travel. I mean, we're like a tourist, city. So eventually we depend on tourism. Yeah. And if, we shut down restaurants, hotels and all that, I mean, we're going to go back to what it was. And unfortunately, it's gonna hurt. And if you didn't save money, then you might be hurting.
And what's crazy to me is, like, with all this money that's being printed, with all this inflation, Las Vegas has hit an all-time high for tourism, because we generate over about like 42 million people every single year that visit, right? And we make over $1 billion in gaming revenue alone, which is kind of baffling to me.
The state.
Yes, which is so crazy. And people are just coming out here and they're still spending money.
Well, that's why we're at. That's why inflation is still the same.
So I think it's a good thing for us, and I think that's actually helping our economy. But the question is, where are we going to be at, right? In the next, I'm going to say third or towards the end of the fourth quarter, because obviously we know unemployment is probably going to go up because they're going to raise rates here probably another 4 or 5 more times.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You think so?
Oh, I think so. Their target rate is at 2%. There's no way they're going to get down to 2%.
I thought their target rate was like 5%.
No, it's at 2%.
Okay. So we know it's been a roller coaster. We know it's going to be a roller coaster for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think rates are going to go up and down in the same month, even the same week. But eventually, I think unemployment by the end of the year will more likely be still around the 4s.
Okay.
At a national level. If you talk about Vegas, if inflation keeps going down, I think eventually we'll stabilize in the 5s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to go higher than 6. But eventually the rates, I think at the end of the year, might end up somewhere in the 6s.
Okay.
Hopefully. But this is not going to stop. I mean, people are going to still spending. People are still going to travel. I think tourism, people still want to go out and forget about what's going on. So I think tourism will be a big part of that. And I think we're going to benefit from that as a state. I think Vegas is going to benefit from that. Other states are a little different, because they depend on, I don't know, restaurants or stuff like that, but it's not as tourism as much.
Yeah.
But I think Vegas is going to benefit from that, where people are still spending. It's bad as it sounds, because it's still going to hurt us at a national level, but I think it's going to happen.
So what would you say to a family out there, 2 or 3 kids, making like $70,000 a year?
Mm-hmm.
They're barely scraping by, they're renting, but they want to get a house. Like, what could you do? Like, what could you share?
You know what?
Give us some advice.
I always tell people to look into the long run, invest in your future. I mean, if you have kids, you're probably thinking about, building wealth for them, leaving something for them. I get calls all the time about people trying to put their kids on their title because they want to leave it for their kids, and that's the main thing. I mean, whatever we do as parents, it's thinking of on our kids, thinking of our future family to make sure that they have something when we're gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you're renting, in a way, you're still not building that wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day we talked on our radio show that the gap difference in wealth between somebody that owns a home and somebody that rents is like $200,000.
Yeah.
It's like a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're renting and you're making, $70,000, $80,000, I always tell them, get what you can. Whether it's a townhome, start small if you want to. Don't maximize your budget to where, your payment is $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. And if you're willing to afford something and live in something that's small and the payment's low and you still have enough money to save, I think that's where you need to start, because eventually I think that will take you to the next step. Eventually that will be your stepstone to, to the next level, to buying maybe a bigger home, and now you have a rental. Maybe you have something you can convert into a rental. Yeah. And will generate some income for you. So, but the fact of to say, I'm going to stay renting for the next, till the market shifts or changes, you're looking at several years. I don't think a shift or a market will change in a year or a day or two.
It doesn't, because I remember in 2008 when the market was going down. Mm-hmm. 2009 is when I bought my first home. I paid like $195 for it. It was a bank-owned property. Mm-hmm. It was $185, but I paid $195 because I wanted it. And I thought I timed this damn thing right. Yeah. It went all the way down to like $130,000 about 3 years later. All right, and now we're into it like 2012. That's when things kind of like, that's where the rock bottom was, and then it started peaking up from there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so the crash doesn't like just happen instantly. No, not at all. It happens, but then it keeps going down, down, down. But it takes a while.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. You can see it. And most people, they got desperate. I remember back in, 08 and those times, people got desperate. And I shit you not, I had clients that I met later that sold a fourplex.
Yeah.
That was generating rent, but the only reason why they sold it was because it wasn't worth what they bought it for.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, that's a whole different strategy.
I mean, they got to be kidding me. That's one.
Yeah.
Then people also selling their home because it wasn't worth what but if you think about it, I said, well, wait a minute. You only had it for a year or two. You have to wait for this to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen day and night. Eventually, and it happened in 5-10 years, it went up again, and now you had equity. And some people were like, no, it's not worth it, so we'll let it. I mean, some people just left it. I mean, you know that. And some people short sold it. But still, I mean, it's a long run. I mean, you got to build wealth, but you got to be patient about it. Now, if you're trying to make money, easy money right away, maybe this type of real estate is not for you. Now, there's flipping and all this other stuff that you might want to get into. But in order for you, like you said, like somebody that makes $70,000, $80,000, you got to think of the long run.
Yeah.
You got to be able to start somewhere. And if you don't start, you're never going to build wealth. And you're always going to wait for the right time. And that time may never come.
That's true. I'm going to tell you a story. Like I think 2015, 2016, I probably had like 4 or 5 properties under contract. And these were in single family residence, you know, went from like 80,000 to like 125,000. I was under contract. I listened to the wrong people. I thought the market was going to crash. And today those homes are worth like 450.
Yeah.
I could have had like another $1 million, man.
Yeah. And you gotta listen.
Like,
you gotta listen to the right people. I mean, I've just like you had people that they've been waiting for the market. I mean, they've been hoping for the market to crash for the last 3-4 years.
And that's me.
I mean, they've been hoping. I'm like, oh my god, I want this to happen.
Oh,
and then there's some
I'm
people
that guy, man. Oh my god.
But hey, but they're telling other people, don't do it now.
Yeah.
I heard somebody on one of my TikTok videos said, hey, wait 12 months and then buy. It's gonna be the best time.
Look, real estate is a game, and you got to understand the game, right? And you got to play your own game.
Yeah.
I get people ask me, hey, you think in the market it's going to crash? Dude, I tell them, I don't know.
Yeah.
And if I knew this, you think I'd be doing what I'm doing right now?
Yeah. I mean,
whoever tells
we as
you.
agents, we still lose.
Now, I'm speculating. Based upon the data that I've gathered, I've done my own research, I have my own theories. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Right? Liquidating everything, I'm going to go cash heavy. But I could be wrong, because I've been wrong multiple times. And like I always tell my clients, look, man, it just comes down to you and your family, your financial situation. Take a look at it. Does it even make sense for you?
Right.
Because sometimes, you know, I'll talk to somebody and they start to realize like, yo, this ain't a good time to buy. Because I feel at the end of the day, it's not my job to steer you. It's to educate you.
Correct.
For you to make your own decision.
Yes, sir.
Right? But you did mention that you had a radio, a podcast that you're doing. What is this all about?
So I do have a radio show in the mornings. It's in Spanish.
Okay.
It's called Al Día Menos, so up to date in real estate.
Okay.
We talked about news, everything that's coming out with with the market, the shifts, the rates, and obviously we try to inform the community about what's happening real time with real estate. Whether it's a good time for you, give advice, we answer questions, comments, because we're live on TikTok and YouTube, Facebook, and we're live at the radio show at the same time. So we're always trying to keep the community informed through our radio show. It's in Spanish. You're all more than welcome to join. But it's a good show.
Okay, and how do we tune into that?
So I'm on Facebook on Al Día en Bienes Raíces. It's in Spanish. Al Día en Bienes Raíces on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
Al Día en Bienes Raíces. If you speak Spanish, I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm sure my son's gonna be on there, but I'm there. And then TikTok, my name Alfredo Rosales. Instagram Alfredo Rosales. I'm also live on TikTok there. So
okay, so if somebody wants to become a member of the NAHREP, how does that work? What's the cost, real quick?
So if you want to become a member, if you're a real estate professional, you want to become a member of the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, Greater Las Vegas chapter, you're more than welcome to either hit me up or you can go and Google NAHREP Greater Las Vegas and you should be able to find the membership is $49 a year.
Wow, that's it. $49?
$49 a year. You get benefits to real estate agents that are involved, that are members. You get free benefits like the workshop we just had. We want to provide value to you to make sure you find the tools to be able to succeed. So either you find our, you find our chapter, Greater Las Vegas chapter of NAHREP through Google, or you can always hit me up and I'll give you all the details.
Well, I want to say thank you, so much for the opportunity, because I know how it is.
Yes.
As a real estate agent, right? You're so busy, you just never have the time, but you took the time to come out here. So I just want to say thank you. Matter of fact, I actually want to bring you back on the show because this is a lot of great information. 1 hour, we just don't have enough time. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Now, guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to tune in to our second channel, Chakits 2.0, and you guys just want to know everything about real estate life, and want to become a real estate agent, want to get inspired, check out our second channel. Also, check out our first channel. Obviously, that's this channel right here. If you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe on our video home tours, go ahead and click on that link. Also, we have a bunch of other links as well, as far as if you guys want the standing inventory list, if you guys want some bank-owned properties, foreclosures, we have all that in the link in the description below. Other than that, until next time, peace!
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs. From a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, winding closures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas. We do glass with class.
Hi, Chakits. I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time. So if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here.